I was sitting here watching a movie one evening. I did not feel like, I did not have the sensation that anything was looking at me or watching me or anything like that. I was just very contentedly watching a movie. And I got cold, so I stood up to fix the window covering so that the breeze wouldn't blow on me. And when I stood up, there was a Sasquatch standing there with his face in the window. And the window height is probably 7-8 feet to eye height, don't you think?
Yeah, from the outside?
From the outside.
Definitely from the outside, yeah.
And he was just looking at me, but there was only a sense of real gentleness from him, and we made eye contact, and he never even blinked, but the communication in his eyes were really warm and soulful.
And he was looking right into your eyes?
Right into my eyes.
How far away was he from you?
Less than a foot.
And there was no glass, no screen,
nothing,
no anything in the window?
No screen, no nothing. Just
he was just right there.
His face right there, looking at me. What struck me about it was how gentle his eyes, how gentle he just like exuded gentleness and warmth. And I don't want to say there was curiosity in his eyes, because I don't know that I could describe this curiosity. It was just very, like if the eyes are the window to the soul, his eyes were extremely soulful and warm and gentle, and that's all I could really describe him as. And it happened quick. I mean, I don't even know where he went, but it was over with in the blink of an eye, essentially. It just happened that quick. And then all of a sudden he was gone. But it didn't scare me, it didn't startle me. I had no sense of fear of him. I had nothing like that.
Well, how much of him did you see? Down to the shoulders or
I
the
would
chest?
say from his chin to his eyebrow, above his eyebrows.
Oh, so he had a thin face.
His face fit right there in the window.
Wow.
But his face was slender.
Okay.
Slender. His eyes actually reminded me of I don't want to make the comparison, but I don't mean it as an insult or anything like that. His eyes, in their shape and in their expression, reminded me of the real soulful look you see in the chimpanzee's eyes or a gorilla's eyes.
Okay.
They had that similar shape as a chimpanzee's eyes, more like not almond shaped like our eyes, but more round. More rounded, I should say.
Could you see what color they were at all?
Hazel.
Hazel. Wow.
Hazel.
That's really cool.
Definitely hazel, but his skin was kind of kind of like a grayish color, but it appeared to be, I would have thought that if I had reached out and touched it, that would have been literally as soft as a baby. He did have some facial hair on his cheeks, like sideburn area growing down. I couldn't see his neck or below his chin. He had a little bit of wispy hair, like mustache hair, and some on his chin as well. Like a light reddish brown color, light brownish red.
And what color was the skin?
Kind of like a gray color, but really, really smooth.
The one I saw had really almost pasty pale skin.
It was smooth, not in that it was wrinkle free, because he did have creases or wrinkles just like around his eyes and such, but there was no harsh or prominent features. There was no scars or blemishes or age, anything that would indicate age or environmental exposure and things like that. But I also thought the hair was soft. That's another thing that stuck out to me. Yeah, I didn't get the impression the hair was coarse, even though I didn't touch it or feel it. From looking at it, that's another reason I thought it was a juvenile, is because the hair appeared to be soft and not at all coarse.
Was it fluffy or straight or?
It was straight but fluffy as well. Not super fluffy, not like puffy like I also associate in my mind with pictures of Sasquatch or drawings of him. You get the excuse me. You get the impression that he has like an undercoat of fur as well as an upper coat. I didn't get that impression with this guy. It just looked like
regular hair?
Like regular hair, but not wispy, but soft. Definitely not coarse. Like you'd see in a toddler child, you know, that kind of really soft hair. I didn't come outside that night because I didn't want to detract from or upset what had just happened, because I felt like his interaction with me was as important to him as as it was to me, is the impression that I felt. So I didn't come outside until the next morning, because I didn't want to come rushing out here and make what had been a really cool experience into something that was no longer pleasant. I didn't want to scare him or make him feel threatened by me or the dogs, or even though it was just my curiosity, it would have been my curiosity of wanting to see, hey, where did he go, or where's his footprints, you know?
Yeah.
From his perspective, I didn't know what his perspective would be on me and my dogs coming out with a flashlight and a camera.
Yeah,
so
probably not good.
I didn't do it.
That's good.
And the dogs never barked or acted like they sensed anything at all.
So you don't think the dogs were aware it was there?
They did not act like it. Not at all.
So he didn't make any sound, and he didn't.
No.
He didn't have any smell.
Nope.
It was just a face in the window.
In an open window. I smelled nothing. I heard nothing. I didn't have any sensation that something was watching me. I was just watching a movie. And like I said, I felt a breeze, so I stood up to adjust the window covering. And the window he was looking in it was at my back. So when I stood up all of a sudden and turned around, boom, there he was.
Just right there.
Right there. And I had already reached for the window covering. So my hand was right there. Yeah, but he didn't look scared or startled or anything like that. And I didn't either. It was just an encounter that seemed to be pleasant and calming for both of us.
Wow.
Is how I would describe it.
That's really awesome.
The next morning I came out, but all I found there was no mud where he was standing. I just found smashed vegetation. No impressions or anything other than the smashed vegetation.
Wow. That is so cool.
Yeah, it was.
Well, thank you for sharing this with us. I really appreciate it. This is probably one of the most beautiful stories I've ever heard.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're here between the cabin right here and Dad's motorhome right here. Yesterday they had a trail cam that was sitting right on this little ledge right here, aimed over at the creek that way. And they got a very interesting photo on it. Nothing definitive, but very, very interesting. So we came out here, taking a look, and we see what appears to be a footprint right here. I have measured it. I'll measure it again. And right there from the top of the toe to what appears to be the heel is just a hair over 12 inches. It's not showing up on the camera really well. I kind of give you an outline here. Through here, up toe, that big toe kind of really shows up right there.
Yeah.
And back.
And the little toe.
Yeah, little toe, yeah. Very cool. So we're thinking they probably came up out of the creek right here and went over to maybe take a peek in the window of the motorhome there. Very cool.
I probably laying there snoring. He's probably wondering what was snoring.
That could be. Okay, so Sandy's over there doing her best to make a cast of that footprint. We're not real sure how well that's going to turn out because it's not real clear and it is in the duff. But while she's doing that, I've come down here into the creek, and right here where we believe it went up out of the creek, we have a spot right here where the dirt has been loosened, where this has been pushed down here. And then if I walk over here in front of Dad to where we believe it came back to the creek.
Yeah, there's two spots. There's one there and there.
Where's the other? Oh, right there. Okay, I see. We have this little bit of overturned moss, and looks like right here another little disturbance in the moss. So this is lining up with where we believe it came back to the creek.
His eyes in just that split second express so much. How does that happen, you know?
Intelligence.
Intelligence beyond what we have.
Wow.
There's no doubt in my mind. Yeah, it was incredible.